had a Floyd order that was done from a motion by the GAL. At the last hearing that we had a agreement, or I signed an agreed consent agreement between the parties that the money of $1,200 was supposed to be paid by that following Monday, and we were on a Thursday that day. And I believe nothing's happened to this point on that as well. You're muted.
That's correct, Your Honor. Also, I have a few requests of the court myself today with regard to this case.
Okay. Do you have anything? Do you want to explain what has happened there, Mr. Kaiser, or?
I would like to actually ask the court some questions real quick before we proceed any further.
Okay, so what we'll do is any party that's going to be testifying today, if you'll raise your right hand. Mr. Kaiser, if you're going to be testifying on your behalf. Yeah,
can I just ask you these questions real quick?
Well, I need to put you under oath. We're going to be talking on the record.
Okay.
So if you'll raise your right hand for me, you swear affirm the testimony regarding anything about this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right, Your Honor, I actually want to, without prejudice, I, Eric Andrew Kaiser, beneficiary, and sovereign, am here under fraud, menace, and disrest and extortion, fiduciary Alex. This is a Social Security Sesticay trust action that you are now a real party and interest to. This is a military admiralty tribunal and maritime law. See Title 4 of the United States Code, Section 1, Lawyers Edition, Interpreted Notes and Decisions, which states, placing a fringe on the national flag is in discretion of the presidential acting as the commander-in-chief of the Army and Navy. All codes, rules, and regulations are applicable to the government authorities only, not humans/creators, in accordance with God's law. All codes, rules, and regulations are unconstitutional and lacking due process. In case Rodriguez versus Ray Donovan, to proceed with when jurisdiction is challenged, however late this objection to jurisdiction has been made, or may be made in any cause in any inferior or appellate court, cannot move any step in the cause as any movement is necessary exercise in jurisdiction. We'll go a little bit further. Rhode Island versus Massachusetts. Once jurisdiction is challenged, the court cannot proceed when it clearly appears that the court lacks jurisdiction. The court has no authority to reach and should dismiss this action. Mello versus U.S. Do not state and prove the jurisdiction, taking the question of jurisdiction of the court, either of the person's subject matter or the place that the crime was committed, can be raised at any stage of the criminal or civil proceedings. It's never presumed, but must always be proven, that it is never waived by the accused.
Okay, so we're here on the motion to dismiss, and I'm assuming this is some new support that you're using for that motion. And we will get into the letting you finish that argument as well. I do want to take up the preliminary matters for with the guardian ad litem first, and then
Judge, I disagree. I think you have to dismiss this case right away.
No, I do not have to dismiss the case right away. So I'm going to allow the preliminary matters to come in front of the court, and then we will go forward. Ms. Brenner, what were your?
Well, Your Honor, as I've expressed before, I have some reservations in both cases. I've spent time speaking with Ms. Dixon. I've tried to get hold of Ms. Kaiser unsuccessfully. She hasn't returned. I've asked Ms. Dixon to ask her client to get me certain information that I've not gotten. I've spoken about this before. I would ask the court to order a hair follicle test on both parents immediately, and also
I object, Your Honor. I did nothing wrong to even be involved in this case.
Hold on, Mr. Kaiser, let her make her motion, and
I don't think we can move another step forward. I challenge your jurisdiction.
we're going to let her finish her request.
well, there is jurisdiction. I mean, I'm not going to argue against you, Mr. Kaiser, but you live in Fulton County, and there is jurisdiction. But
No, there's not jurisdiction.
that is jurisdiction. And
No,
it's not-
to my trust. I'm the beneficiary of my trust.
Uh-huh. Well, what I was about to say, Your Honor, is I'd like to ask for a hair follicle test on both of these. I'd like a psychological on both parents, and I'd like a parental fitness exam on both parents. I'm extremely concerned that I haven't received any information
I don't
about
do
the
drugs.
children's schooling or health care. I've repeatedly from the beginning said that the kids need speech and speech therapy. I'd really like to get going with that. And I would also like to get paid. And so those are my requests to the court, Your Honor.
Right, and so you've received no additional funds from the last hearing?
I've received no additional funds.
Okay, and school information, I know that you had requested that as well. Is that being problematic to obtain from the school or each parent, or what's?
Well, I wanted to get it directly from Ms. Kaiser because I wanted to speak with her. And I don't know if her phone number has changed or what, but while she's here today, maybe I can talk to her. Maybe we can have 5 minutes in a breakout.
Yeah, Emily, there's no objection to that. I actually spoke with Ms. Kaiser. She said she had been trying to reach out to you via email, so I'm not sure if maybe her emails are going to your spam. And she also said she was calling. Okay, so let's double check on that. But I know I personally provided her with your contact information just a few days ago after she asked again. So I know
Okay,
she.
so if you're good, Ms. Dixon, maybe we let them have a quick communication.
Yeah, absolutely.
That way that can be cleared up, and then we can go back to the other issues.
Sure.
So,
Your Honor, can I ask you a question real quick? Can you please just go to the evidence file that I shared of the domestic violence that I said from the beginning of this case, the reason why a guardian ad litem was involved in this case, and listen to what my wife allowed to happen to my kids? Your Judge, Alex Manning, who had allowed my kids to be locked in that terroristic, violent behavior. Please go to the evidence and listen to what this woman has allowed my children to go through. Now she's bouncing around Athens. I have no idea where my kids are. She's in contempt of court. I haven't seen my kids in over 30 days. She won't let me talk to them. My kids both have devices that I pay for. She blocks my phone number, and I'm about done with this case. I challenge your jurisdiction. You cannot move another step forward.
You said you submitted an evidence package?
Yes, I've submitted a ton of evidence.
Your Honor, I also wrote that it is not acceptable to not permit the visitation, but I'm not clear about the circumstances with the visitation or not.
There's a court order. Meet me at Brookhaven Police Department. It's pretty easy.
Your Honor, so I'm going to object to the court reviewing any evidence, obviously, today. One, I'm not really sure. There's no motion for contempt that's been filed. To
Because
my
I'm not going to keep bringing my family into the system.
I am speaking, so stop. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So there's been no motion for contempt filed that I have had a chance to review. So I would object to the court reviewing any evidence of anything, especially any evidence that hasn't been provided to me.
Objection, Your Honor. We are here today. This is my appeal hearing.
Ms. Dixon, please proceed.
Thank you. I think the preliminary matter dealt with Emily Brenner, the GAL in this case. I do not object to Mrs. Kaiser speaking with her and them discussing whatever needs to be discussed. I know that I've tried to connect the two of them, so clearly there's been an issue there. I just want the court to be on notice. I also have not received a motion to dismiss. I think that Mr. Kaiser is filing things and then obviously not serving me with them, allowing me the time to respond to that as well.
Thank you.
But if I can look at it quickly, I'm sure we'll be able to go forward on that today. I don't mind.
And Naeli, if you don't mind forwarding that to Ms. Dixon, and then meanwhile, I'll let and Mr. Kaiser, we're just going to take a short break because Ms. Brenner has not had a chance. She had a chance, I believe, to visit with you and the children. She's not had a chance to visit with or talk directly with Ms. Kaiser. Since her attorney is also here, I'm going to let them go to a breakout room for a few moments so that can happen and we can at least be on a little bit better playing level because right now she's had no contact whatsoever with Ms. Kaiser. So I'm going to give them a few moments. So I'm going to assign Ms. Brenner.
Your Honor, if I may, I also told, not advised, but Mr. Kaiser brought up all of the same issues to me, and I said that I am not empowered. I don't think he understands what my job is here, but I'm not empowered to what I told him that I thought he should do is file a contempt action so that the court can take up what he's saying. And to my knowledge, I also have not received a motion to dismiss.
All right.
So there's
Stella
one
Prado,
file
we
I'd
can
like to get
her.
Can I speak?
So
Can I speak?
They need a chance to read your motion.
Can I
It's filed
speak?
on October the 4th, I believe. So once we
Can I speak?
send that over to them, they'll take a few moments for that as well. And that way,
Can I speak?
I also want to give this opportunity for Ms. Brenner, since she's here, everyone's here, for them to ask some preliminary questions. I know she probably will still need the payment, and we'll address that when we come back in. But I'm going to go ahead and assign you guys to the three of you to the breakout room.
Your Honor, can I please speak?
We'll have to wait until they come back because we can't do ex parte.
Well, I filed a contempt against her before, and you put a warrant on me for getting my kids healthy when she went off to a drug fest.
We have to stop until they come back, okay?
All right. Y'all like that?